Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Coco and the Sun podcast. Today is the 1st of January 2025. So happy New Year to all that celebrate. And sorry, today I usually try to do things I love to do so that if it communicates to the universe, this is what I want to continue growing in this year. This is what I love doing. When I find more joy in it. Um, I try to do it on the first. So podcasting is one of those things, the YouTube channel, just being in connection and conversation about things I find interesting or love or I'm curious about. So that's why I wanted to make sure and do a podcast today because it's something that brings me so much joy. Um, but yeah, what are some traditions you guys do that contribute to your New Year's Day and your New Year wants and wishes? I don't know about resolutions. I'm not really good at that. So, but anyway, so today I thought we would continue reading from the Gospel of Mary Magdalene a little bit. I just wanted to also talk about some of the books that I found interesting this year, and it felt like assisted with my understanding of my own divinity, how I feel in this world, in this reality. Um, and I felt like gave me new perspectives and understandings of things that I didn't fully understand before. So right now, it's one, two, three, four. I'm reading the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ by Levi Dowling. I don't say reading, I'm listening to it on Audible. And I got this book on a whim, Audible, you have the credits, and I was just looking through to see what would be a good read, a good listen. And I picked it because it said Aquarian, because I'm an Aquarian. I'm an Aquarius. So I tend to be attracted to things that say Aquarian or Aquarius, just like I'm attracted to things that say angel. Um, anyway, so I didn't even, I mean, I think I read the preview and I was like, oh, I might be curious. And I got it like, I think a few months ago. I don't want to say a year ago, but close to a year ago. And only now got around to listening to it. And it's been so good. So I don't know if you want to try that, The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ by Levi Dowling, Dowling. I think it's written in the early 1900s and was it 1940s? They tell you in the book because they have like an introduction or whatever. And basically, this guy, I think he was born a preacher's son. He preached for a while. He was in the military, I think, as a some form of religious thing. He may have had a church. But anyway, he said after 40 years of meditations, with himself, like quiet meditations, I believe he was able to access the Akashic records and identify the stories of some biblical folks. Jesus being one of them, I think, John the Baptist being the other. It says that it's like it takes a while to attune to recognize the frequencies of others. My daughter came to ask me something. Yeah, so he basically, like, after many years of studying the Akashic and I guess being able to attune to it, he's able to attune to specific individuals' stories and get some information. So it's like, I don't want to say, you can call it channeled. But it is a form of getting information um from not a 3D aspect, I would say, right? another way of communication. And always with these books, I would say to take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. And that doesn't mean that anybody's wrong per se, but we all have our own filters, our own perspectives, our own perceptions based on the lives that we're living. And so some of it, a lot of it resonates. And there's some parts though that I or wording that based on the time that he was living in would have made sense. But for me now, through my own understandings, uh don't feel not incorrect, but feel that we have expanded a little more past. So, but it's really, really, I really enjoy it. It's really, really good. I'm still listening to it because it gives an in-depth look of Jesus's life from his birth um to I believe after his crucifixion and the things that he's saying, he's experiencing, what people are asking him, his where he learned stuff and what he taught, and just his point of view on a lot of pertinent issues and his way of thinking or looking at things. Of course, filtered through this guy, so you have to decipher for yourself what you resonate with. But I really enjoyed it, and I think that the Bible is great, like, but it's unbalanced in the sense that we only get like some information and not a full picture, but enough information that we can um aim for lives more filled with light, but it's more externally focused and doesn't really talk about a lot of the internal being necessary for the external actions to occur. So I really like this book. I just got it. I just started listening to the end of the year. Also, I love all of Dolores Cannon's books. And she gets her information from hypnosis to help with healing. And in that process, she also is able to access past lives of some of her patients and get some information on the world that we're living in. So I really like her collection. I especially like her collection too because I don't know what this year is going to hold. There's a lot of predictions, and I don't really want to, um, get into possibilities. I leave that to people that are more tuned with their premonitions and their gifts of prophecy. But I always like to live in preparation for joy, not preparation of fear. This has been a new change for me because I've always been somebody that prepares if something goes bad. But now I am looking at things that if things don't go as expected, not bad, how could I best enjoy that unexpected occurrence? So I don't know what's going to happen this year, but if something should occur and conveniences are not available, you can always read books. And so I just got this new curious urge to buy or acquire. You don't have to buy, you could rent that. I don't know. Get book series or collections. So I think Dolores Cannon has a lot of books that would keep me occupied. Say we don't get to stream TV or internet and Wi-Fi and stuff like that. Nothing that will happen, but if it does, I can be happy reading books. So I'm looking into that. But not just, spiritual books. I'm also looking at other just books for entertainment and stuff like that. But anyway, so Dolores Cannon, I like most of her books. I think all of it. I haven't read all, but what I've read, I have enjoyed and have learned a lot of different ways of looking at things. the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. I have said before, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. I started, what is it called? A Discourse in Miracles. I started, but I couldn't finish that one. It's really big. Let me get it correct. Um, let me see. I don't think that's the name of it. A Course in Miracles. Yes. That one's also very long and it's a series. It's also good, if you're looking for spiritual books or curious things that may interest you to read, so we not have access to stuff. So A Course in Miracles is another one that I really enjoyed. I couldn't finish because it's very in depth and very detailed. Um, but yeah, that one. I'm reading the Gospel of Mary Magdalene now. I also have the Gospel of Philip and Thomas that I haven't checked out yet. But I think a lot of information could be learned there. The manuscript of Mary Magdalene by Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion. That was the book I read previously on the YouTube channel. I really loved that one. Again, there were some things that I resonated more with than other things, and not because what was being taught was wrong, but it's like, um, stuff that was being taught from a long time ago, and I just couldn't fully get into it myself. Um, but I don't think that it's wrong. I may be able to at a different space of growth. I don't know. Also, I kind of like that I'm able to take what I can process at this stage and leave what I can't. And then when I'm able to, probably revisit it and process some more. So there's depths and layers, and it's not ever a boring thing. It's just something that grows and expands. And I'm okay with that because, as you guys know, I like gentle integrations. And I'm okay with being where I am now, not having to understand fully everything all at once. I'm more at peace with that, and being rushed and kind of like greedy to know everything and stuff myself, and then can't process or overwhelm myself. So I do like that I'm able to take in based on what I'm interested in, what I can at certain levels. So what I'm interested in kind of tells me what I'm able to um process now. And when I'm not able to process, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe this will come at a later date. And maybe I'm past that stage and I'm just not interested in that. So my interests and my joys are really integral to knowing um what what's good for me now, what I'm able to handle now. Another book I started but didn't finish, You Are a Channel by Sarah Landa. And I also like her because she teaches a lot of her processes through love, and she isn't super expensive. Like a lot of her information and materials are quite affordable and attainable, which is something that I value. I think it helps more people have access. But to other people that aren't as attainable, nothing's wrong with that as well. It could just mean that they are in a different perspective or access it's for a different demographic, and it will get to others later on. Like it hasn't been dispersed yet for all. That's all. It doesn't mean anything bad or anything if anything else more expensive. Another one I haven't read yet, but I heard is really good is You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Louise Hay. And I just read the reviews and I think it has to do with, saying things daily and learning to live in that belief. So, let's see, The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield was also very, very good. And I feel like although it is not a true story, it is supposedly fiction. I think he explains a lot of how this reality works in a way that's very fun and interesting to read, and in a way that doesn't feel like work or um like you're studying, right? It's a story and anybody could read it and be entertained by it. It doesn't have to be um research or works, you know what I mean? Bringers of the Dawn. I forget who's the author. I don't want to listen to it. Bringers of the Dawn by Barbara Marciniak, in which she channels the Palladians and they're trying to tell us, explain how our reality works and how to master it essentially. Again, like with all channeled books, you take what resonates with you and trust in your own discernment. It helps you build your trust with yourself and knowing what's right for you and not feeling like, well, everybody like this, so I gotta like it, or nah, that didn't sound good to me. Like, no, you trust yourself. It's just where you're at and what you can process, and you know what's right for you more than anyone else. So this book was also really good. It was one of the first books I read that gave a lot of understanding for me as to what was going on and even the term mastering yourself. What? What I mean, it basically was to find joy in any situation if you can, find peace there. I was just, I love Ann Tucker, and I'm doing the Soul Convergence program, and I told you guys I'm in Soul Convergence too. But anyway, she did a video Friday. She does one every Friday with a channel message from the angels, and basically in this message, um, I just forgot where I was going with this. Oh, in this message, they were saying even if you're in a situation that it's not one that you love, if you're able to find peace there and accept it, it can bring in what's next for you. So I think that's kind of like mastering yourself, right? And it wasn't very easy for me to do, and sometimes it's still not because part of it is bringing in situations that you haven't experienced before to see how you manage it, how long it takes for you to level and find your peace and your joy there. Um, so that's to me, I think a part of the mastery, like you get these situations. I also feel like the situations come um in good spacing. So in perfect timing. So it doesn't feel overwhelming for me. Um, Again, different people enjoy things different ways. So it doesn't mean it'll occur for you the same way. But yeah, that's like the self-mastery, like different situations that may appear to be difficult and you finding the peace there, something that you enjoy there to maintain your focus on and not focus on the things that you don't enjoy in that situation. So, um, and the Palladians kind of talked about that. The Hathors, what was the name of the book? The Hathor Material by Tom Kenyon. Again, Tom Kenyon is another person that I really enjoy his works and his stuff are also affordable and they teach for me a lot of understanding of what we're living in. And he had this angel, I think it's is it the Seven Archangels? It's like a sound download that you can get. I think it was like $20. And each night I listen to a different download. I think that each one is about, some of them are like 11 minutes, some 17, some 20 minutes. Each night I listen to a different one for 7 days. And each night, this is before I started Soul Convergence, but I think this helped bring Soul Convergence into my life. Um, anyway, each recording, I listened one a day, and the the dreams I had each night was different. So it was like each recording did something different to help with healing or aligning or clearing to get you to a better space. That's what I felt. After listening to that for 7 days, I think things started to alleviate for me. Soon after that, I found out about the scholarship for Soul Convergence, and then I got the scholarship. Then I found the scholarship was not just Soul Convergence 1, but it was also Soul Convergence 2. Um, so it feels like more is being, more of what I need is coming into my experience. So I really love Tom Ken. He has a lot of downloads, and some of them are free that you don't have to pay for, that are really good as well. And also like the books, and he does podcasts and stuff. So anything, any of Kenyon's material, Tom, last name Kenyon, I found very helpful if you guys are interested in looking into those things. I think he also sells the CDs, if you have a CD player. And well, he has the books, right? The manuscript of Mary Magdalene and the Hathor material, the two of the books that I read that I found very helpful. With the Hathor material, they're explaining things similar to the Palladians, but a little more scientific, I found. Upon the Palladians were like telling us a story, and the Hathors were a little more direct and scientific in how everything works. And um but essentially, like, mastering yourself is key, and learning how to clear hurts and feelings. Loving yourself unconditionally is major in all of them. You gotta love yourself. Um, and learning how to do that, because of course there's different layers to that. But yeah, so the Hathor material is pretty cool as well. This is a channeled message again. So again, you have to take what resonates with you and what doesn't. Some aspects of it I found didn't go into depth more with the emotional aspect of how long or what it takes to get to a certain feeling, right? Like, of course, you want to have the best connection you can with all peoples, but sometimes first you have to go through a process of taking care of yourself and building boundaries and loving yourself and accepting yourself through your different phases before you're able to accept others in their different phases. And then I'm not sure the Hathors kind of break that down. So that's like more of a personal experience that I've had, that I've noticed that this didn't expand too much on. And that's probably because they haven't been human, although they've been um not whatever they are now, not these light beings, this other aspect of being. They've been more dense beings as we are. But I think being human too is unique. So there's lessons they can teach us because they transitioned. But some of it, I think we do have to experience on our own as we build our own little guidebook. There are things that we're going to learn on just by experiencing. So, so those are the other books I can think of for now. So far I talked about the Palladians, um, the Bringers of the Dawn, the Hathor material, the Magdalene manuscript, all of Dolores Cannon's books, um, the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, Course in Miracles, um, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. I'm trying to think. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene, the Gospel of Philip, the Gospel of Thomas. Um, me see what else. Uh, Books I haven't read yet. The Raw Contacts. I want to read that. I want to get into that. And trying to see if there's anything else. I don't see anything else. All my other books in here are entertainment. So yeah, so that's it. And that's all I can remember right now. I think I may have books somewhere else before I start reading this thing. Okay. The Law of One Sessions and Books. That's another one I want to check out. Seth Speaks is another one I'm interested in. I've looked at the audiobooks on YouTube, but I think maybe I want to get some of his books as well, some of the books where he was giving some information. So that's it. Those are my recommendations. Things I still want to read and things I have read and what I learned from them. Um, I think also like right now I'm learning in a way that's like some specific messages, but in a way that's kind of like an overall feel, an overall ex understanding. I think the understanding get more specific probably when I get to the deeper layers. So because I'm probably new to this, I'm getting more of an overall feel and patterning of how things look, you know? So like, but I still get specific understandings too. They're sprinkled in between probably for what I am able to process now or I'm going to be have to do soon. Um, and again, I like the way that that's done because I get what I need when I need it, just before. Um, so I just wanted to see if I can give an example of this. So an example of this would be with generosity and sharing. I have always had an issue with sharing. So it's not that I didn't want to share, but there has always been. I have a little sister, she's like a year younger. And so since we've been little, I've always had to share what I had with her, like give her half of the. And so when I got older and more independent, living on my own, I didn't have to do that. I kind of veered a lot into taking care of myself. Um, and not feeling like I had enough, always wanting to um it was like things always felt tight and never felt like enough, even though it probably was enough. I would always overextend myself in some way. And also feeling like I was responsible for myself only and that there wasn't much help for me if I wasn't able to support myself. Right. That was another like core belief I had. So I found that this year, a lot of the work-ins have been that, of course, that I'm loved and all that I need is always there, and the universe always provides what I need, or the divine, right? It's probably not going to come in the way I expect it, but I'm never without. I always have what I need, and from that, an abundance moves forward. So they've been really working with me this year with that. And so what happens is now that I moved from a position of need to having extra, then I want to share now. But also finding things that I enjoy sharing with, things that I like giving to. So it's not going to be specific, like general things that other people say you should give to. Like, I don't really go to church, so there's not a church to tithe to. But I really love elephants. I really love baby elephants. So I might adopt a baby elephant. Or I really love Sesame Street and what it does for um the children, because I used to watch Sesame Street as a kid. So I may donate there. And then there's family members that I love that I want to help, or it wouldn't hurt to send a little extra money too. And it doesn't hurt me in any way to do it. Or um so that they've been working on me and finding joy in sharing. And I really am finding joy in sharing. Um, but before I could find joy in sharing, I had to feel like I had enough first. So they started there, right? With um knowing that I'm loved, that I'm always taken care of, and I don't need to worry about it. It'll come to me in the best way for me in that time. And then it'll expand from there. So I was listening to the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ today. I went for a walk in the park. I love walking in the, and you guys know I love walking in the park because of the trees, because I had a dream that the trees said that they wanted to help with my healing. So I do try to go as often as I can. A lot of times I can't go during the week because of traffic and the time I finish work. But I definitely try to go on the weekends or when there's a holiday. So today was a holiday, so I went this morning. I love being with the trees. So I was sitting there and I understood like the beauty of the day and all the trees and all the sunlight and all the blue skies, all of that is wealth. All of that is abundance. And it's abundance that I'm able to experience, but others are too. And it's not in a way where they're experiencing it makes it less of an experience for me. And then I understood that life can be that in all the ways. Like everything and everyone can have the abundance they need without it limiting another's, and all having access to the same abundance, you know, the same things. We're all at the park and we're all seeing the trees and the water and breathing the air, and nobody is without. Everybody is with more than they can. There are more trees than I can possibly see at the park in one time. There's more air than I can possibly breathe in the park at one time. There's more grass than I can possibly walk on at one time. And so I have an over abundance of what I need and what I enjoy. And others are experiencing the same things I'm experiencing. They have access to the same things without limiting me. So that came in a very clear way today on my walk. And I said, like, all of life, all aspects of life can be like that: food, financial, home, mental health, um, entertainment, things we enjoy, things, friendships, connections, networks, can be all abundant in that way without limiting others, in a way that we enjoy and more than we could ever need, um, without wanting to hoard it for myself. It never occurred to me that the park should be all mine. Never. It was just nice to see other people mingling because they added to the beauty of it all, to the abundance of it all, you know? Anyway, so then as I was listening to the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ at the same time. He is narrating that um, about a man that hoards his wealth, and he's looking at things from his human eyes, right? This is like a Jesus parable. He's looking at things from his human eyes and basically saying it's wise to store up this wealth for a rainy day and keep it to himself, but that um, people that are given wealth are given wealth for to take care of it for all of us so that we all have, we're not without. And that he may think he's done a wise thing, but the divine would look at him as selfish and not sharing. But it's also gave space for him not knowing, and not being judged as too much for not knowing that it's for all. Like the abundance that you have, you're giving it to safeguard for all. And so then I was like, So what does that mean? Like the money that I make, I'm supposed to share, not save. And then another understanding comes in the same book. In the same book, I'm listening to an Audible, and basically, Jesus is talking about another situation where there was a disaster and people died, and he was telling Judas to bring out. Judas was the treasurer of the disciple group, and he told him to bring out their treasury to share all of it with the families or the dependents of the people that died in this tragedy. And so basically, I understood like you'll know when to share it. So there's a time for like gathering, and then opportunities will come when you know that it's to be given. Because I was like, well, does that mean that I shouldn't be saving and I should be just sharing? And um, so even that was clarification, right? Because they were saving for a little bit for their needs. And then opportunity came where they could share and knowing that when you share more will come because he basically because Judas didn't want to share all of it. He wanted to give some of it. And he was like, well, we don't even know the names of these people. Why would we give all of it? Surely there are people that know them should be giving more than us, and we can just give them something to help them out. And he's talking to Peter about it. Peter was like, you feel strong enough to go against what's right? And then so he ends up giving all of it, right? But even that human nature, to give some and not all and stuff like that. So it felt like every aspect was answered. Like, yeah, we are supposed to share, but the opportunities to share will come and we'll know when those opportunities come. And in the meantime, it's okay to also, at least this is my own understanding. You may have a different understanding when you listen to it. And so my understanding doesn't apply to you. Whatever you get is best for you. But yeah, so that's what I got from it, that we are supposed to share and hoarding isn't great, right? But then there comes a time to share and to save. Right. And if you look at even in the Bible, I was thinking about Joseph. When Joseph saved the grains of sand because he knew there was going to be 7 years of famine. So he did save so that everybody had when there was famine and that was shared. So there's times to save and there's times to share, and you have to know like when to do that. Like I think if you're doing it for yourself and yourself only, that's where the issue comes. And I felt like that this year too, because I was being nudged to give. And a lot of times I was nudged to give. I wanted to give these are people, but there was a time, where I struggled with giving to a particular situation. Um, but once I freed myself from it and I gave lovingly, I felt a lot better and I found joy in it. But you're going to know when you're supposed to give. And even if you're resistant to it, you're going to be like, yeah, I kind of know I'm supposed to do this. Your inner knowing is telling. But anyway, so that's what I mean. Like I've got like general patterns, but then I also got like specific things for me and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. I'm not sure this book I was going to read today, but I feel like this could be just a short video that's just fun. And it's just about the stuff that I learned, the books that have been helping me. I don't think I need to read this. I'm not feeling called to read this anymore. I'm not going to. I don't feel like doing anything too intellectual. But I will post it before this one, another one where I do read a lot of the book. So you'll get these two today, these two videos. So you got like a fun one just talking about books that helped. Um, and maybe you can check into for this new year. Reading could be an option, getting like physical copies of books so that you have something to entertain yourself and learn, continue learnings depending on how this year goes or future years. I mean, books are good for life, right? So, anyway, guys, so that's it for today. I hope you have a really good New Year's and that it's filled with all the things that bring you joy and all the goodness that's for you, that you love yourself, that you follow your heart's joys. The dreams work for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but this, trying to figure out what your dream's trying to tell you. I just hope like life brings to you all the things that feed you, that nourish you, that nurture you, that make you feel loved and understood. I was walking today and I was like, I want to love and be loved. I want to understand and be understood. I want to accept and be accepted. I want to forgive and be forgiven. I want to bring joy and experience joy from others. I want to bring bliss and experience bliss with others. I want to be in harmonious relationship with all that I encounter. I want to be in harmonious relationship with all aspects of my being and my divine team and divine self. Um, so these are things that came to me today that I would love to experience and expand in my experience on. And love being such a major one, just love being like all my experiences to be filled with love, with all my being to be filled with love, my speaking, my eyes, my taste, my smells, my hearing, my physical body, my friendships, my work, colleague relationships, my relationships with the members I work with, my relationship with the companies I work with, my relationships with my audience, my relationships with YouTube and podcasting, and my watercolor painting and my writing, all to be in harmonious relationship. So that's where I'm at on this new year. I would love to hear where you're at, what's going on with you. Oh, another thing that I got an understanding of from the same Aquarian, the Aquarian gods, which is Jesus Christ. So sometimes I have dreams and I get like songs in my head with like particular um words, like a certain lyric. And my dream analysis had said that's like clairaudience, that you're getting a message, clairaudiently and to acknowledge it so the next one comes. And so I've been kind of in my dreams and basically for like the whole year. But recently they've been saying nothing's impossible. That we're past the worst. I think we're past the worst internally, that we're probably going to see it play out externally, but because we're so internally centered, it wouldn't be as soul shattering as it would have been had we not done all the internal work and processing, right? The trust is in a better place. But like we're past the worst, that the impossible is possible, like nothing's impossible, basically. And the other one today, which is so good. Today was a Bob Marley song they used. They've used Bob Marley's song before. Let me see which ones. Trying to find. They used Redemption Song, but this line in particular. But my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. That particular piece was like coming over and over my head. So the messaging has been for me positive and hopeful. Let me see if I find any other one. Let's see. Yeah, thank God we're pastors because who job bless no one cursed from who the captain Bob Marley was another one that they gave me. So those are the type of man. This was December 18th, I think. December 8th. Yeah. So the last month, a little more has been quite positive messages through song. Um, So I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to share it, if this was just personal messages for me and didn't mean the same for everyone. But in the queer gospel of Jesus the Christ, Jesus shares a parable, and I think Thomas asks him, "Is this for everyone, or is it just for us, for the disciples?" And he said, "Does God send a message just for one person? It's literally for everyone, but you will be able to digest or integrate whatever level you're at, and you'll be able to take in what you can based on what you're able to process, basically." And so he was saying, like, some people will just get the story, some people will get the other meaning of the story, and that's okay until, because that's just where you are in the process, and it'll be of benefit to you in any way. So I just wanted to share those little messages I've been getting. I don't know specifically for my life, but this had said that it's for everyone, and how it pertains to your life may be different. So I just shared it. Those are the songs I've been getting. The messages that nothing is impossible, everything's possible. That we're made stronger by the Almighty, and we're moving forward triumphantly. Um, I forgot what else I had put down there. Um, thank God we're past the worst. And yeah, that's it. I think another message I got, but it was in a song, was that things are accelerating now. It looked like what I understood is going to like go super, super fast now. I don't know how, but I trust your messaging. So we'll see, we'll see. Anyway, Happy New Year and God bless everyone. And I hope your life is full with as much love as you can possibly accept. Bye, guys.